Hi, Flosstube. It's Heather Miller here, coming to you from Taber, Alberta, Canada. I am the mirror image stitcher here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. I want to welcome you to my channel. For those that are new, this channel is all about cross stitch. I do separate videos called quilt tubes where I talk about my quilting, but I do keep them separate, and this is called, this one will be all about all my cross stitch endeavors. So welcome if you're new, and welcome and thanks for returning anybody that has watched my channel before, and thank you for stopping by to visit with me and listen to me ramble on about my cross stitch. I had a friend, Barbara, the Seashore Stitcher, email me the other day saying, hey, I haven't seen you upload anything. And so that kind of prompted me to do this today. It's April 22nd. And so I just want to thank her for touching base with me and checking in on me. Yeah, it's been in 4 months. Last time I did it, Flosstube was before December or in there. And I've just lived a really fulfilling 2026 so far. Living my best life, living the dream kind of thing. I've had a really wonderful 4 months, family-wise, babysitting my grandson, and every day just watching him grow up, and I babysit him once a week. And so it's just a lot of fun to see him, learn new things, and it's lots of fun. My husband and I went down to Las Vegas. We had a really nice, I was actually home for a couple weeks, and then we were in Las Vegas. So I was off, I think about 6 weeks, and it kind of was like a pretend to be retired sort of situation. And it was very enjoyable. We had a very relaxing holiday, super hot down in Las Vegas, like anywhere between 29 to like 36 degrees, really Celsius, really nice and warm. We spent a lot of time in the lazy river or sitting beside it, cross-stitching, my husband listening to podcasts or things like that. So we had a really great holiday. We were back at the very beginning of April, and it's just been, feet on the ground running for the last, the whole month of April, between getting caught back up. And my husband has been very busy this month with his work. He owns his own business, and so he's been very busy. The other thing was, actually they're working on our road this week. They're widening it. They're doing some things to it. And so I'm sort of stuck at home. I put up a picture here. They got some great big huge equipment, and it would be a real pain for me to go up and down the road and make them move this big huge dump truck. It's literally the width of the road at the moment. And so I thought, well, I don't have to go anywhere today. Might as well stay home until after they're done doing like the work hours, say after 6 o'clock or whatever. And so there's no reason to go out. So I thought, hey, might as well catch up with all of you and spend some time with my talking about what I've been working on for my cross stitch these days. I have quite a bit to show you and chat about, and you will already know how long this video is. I do struggle with that sometimes, wondering if I should put up longer videos or shorter videos and kind of chop it up a bit more. If you have an opinion about that, let me know in the comments. I don't know that I'm going to follow all of that, but it would be nice to kind of have a poll the audience sort of thing to know what people generally like. And I feel like half are going to say they like short videos so they can see more people, and other people are going to say, like, I'd like to sit down and listen to someone for an hour while I cross stitch, and then I don't have to change or whatever. I can just get into a rhythm for an hour or so and then go from there. So, but it'd be interesting to know what anybody that kind of watches me or comes back to see my channel from time to time wants to see. So I'm just going to get right into it. I do have some notes here. I have a bunch of things piled beside me. I have my projects down here, so I'll be reaching down to grab them one by one, and then I kind of put them over here on the table. So it was either pile them on the table and then throw them here, or grab them here and then pile them there. So this is what I decided to do. So that's be going probably in and out of frame a bit, but let's get started. So I had taken 3 Christmas themed projects, and I decided to work on them for the first 2 months of January. And I got 2 out of the 3 finished. So the third one I'm going to do for like a Jolly July. I'm going to work on that in the month of July to get that one done. But the first one I'm going to talk about is, let me get my paper out. It's called Winter Wonderland. It's by Emily Pengelly of Blueberry Ridge Design. She's a Canadian designer. And this was a stitch along. And I didn't quite make it through the whole stitch along, but I did finish it. So this is my finish. It is, I started it November 30th. I finished it January 17th. And it's just over 5,300 stitches. I stitched it on an Aida, 18 count, and it's a loops and threads Aida cloth. It's 127 by 85, and it does have a couple of my own design elements. Number one, I did a boo-boo on here, so I had to put in an extra row of the snow there. And I did have one of these was wrong, and so I had to fix the window. And then I tried to do my own, almost like turning the cottage into like a stone cottage and doing some stitching in there to make it look like stonework. It did not come out like I imagined. I should not take it upon myself to do design work that is out of my, wheelhouse. But I didn't want to take it out. It is what it is, and I believe I'm going to turn this into a project bag. I did really enjoy it. The pieces each week were fairly decent, type of thing. So I really enjoyed that. My next one is called A Christmas Gathering. This is by Fiber and Floss Canada. I started it December 3rd, 24. This was a free pattern that Erica gave out. And I finished it January 28th of 26. It's on a 28 count raw linen. And what I did was I actually picked all my own flosses, red flosses, and I sort of did that kind of myself. Some of them are thicker than others. They're more like a wool. Some of them have a bit of sparkle. That's kind of hard to see on camera. And then she had some people in the middle right here. And I just put the Millers instead. Because I kind of looked at, me and my husband and all of our kids in it that wouldn't fit. So I just put the Millers. And I really did enjoy this stitch. It was a lot of fun to do. So that was fun to get those out of the way. And I haven't decided if I'm going to frame this. I'm going to look through my stash of thrifted frames and kept frames and see what would fit. And if not, I'm going to make it into a project bag. It was just like a PDF, so I didn't actually count the stitches. And I did not record like how many wide and so on. I used some mystery wool that was given to me, Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red, Classic Colorworks Belle Soie Cranberry Silk, Acrostic Metallic, DMC Metallic 321, Cosmo 5006, and an Auvera Soie Sol d'Alger 495. That's what I used on that piece. So I was very happy to get 2 out of the 3 done. Now, what I wanted to say, that was kind of also here just at the beginning of the year of 2026, I kind of wanted to have an idea of what I had for whips. Now, I have whips that are going, and then I have, series. Some of them are like, most of them are like, a set of 12, one a month kind of thing. So I counted how many things I had, and I did count, like, if I had, 5 of the series done, I did count that I still had 7 whips left to go, like that kind of thing. And so in total, actually, I had 94 whips. I started in 2026 with 94 whips going. Like I said, not all of them are started, especially the series ones are not, but I do want to do them all. And so I'm sort of counting them as that. So I'd really like to work on getting that kind of number down and get some of these series done. And just overall, I don't care if I have something kitted up and something should happen to me, but I really want to not have things half finished. So I am working on things to complete them versus starting anything. Doesn't mean I'm not going to start anything, and you'll see in my stuff that I did start something, couple things, but it's something that I can start and finish within this year type of thing. And working towards every season, picking, several in that season in hopes of getting those ones done. So that's where I was with that. Alrighty, now we're going to get into the whips. So the first of the month, I always work on a Canada project. And so this one is ink circles. It is Reflections of Canada. Oh yeah, here it is. It is 115 by 115. And it's 6,527 stitches. I'm using Leo and Roxy, which is Roxy Floss now, 11 points floss. I'm doing it on a Loops and Threads 18 count Ada. This is where I'm at. So this was a restart. I started it on a Lagana. I didn't like it. I had made a mistake, and I was hard pressed to frog out on a 28 count over 1. So I just restarted, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I restarted it, started it in the middle, and this would be this section here. So I've been working my way down this way. I am enjoying this much more on this fabric. So that was great. Next is a project that I work on the 4th of July. And it's called Teddy Bear Parade. This is what it looks like. I somehow just really enjoy the American flag, and so I like to do things with that. It is a design from Heart Print Greeting Cards, original artwork by Jan Jameson, It's from the book, the old magazine For the Love of Cross Stitch. This is the front cover. And July 1990. It's 64 by 80. And I started July 4th of 25. It's on a 32 count natural raw linen. I'm using a DMC and Cosmo, whatever the called for is. And if I didn't have the DMC, I converted it to Cosmo if I didn't think I have enough. And so this is what it looks like. This one, if you've watched any of my other floss tubes, this one really, these ones from the 90s are not for the faint of heart. All that shading looks really nice from a distance, but when you're up close stitching it, it's very hard to tell, you know, did I stitch 2 of these or something else? I've explained this a lot, so I won't go into detail, but I'm almost basically stitching it row by row by row. I do have park threads. I have kind of tried to iron some of these and pull them to the back just to make it a little bit easier for people to see. But that's how I've been stitching this. And there was a part here where I wasn't sure what I had did. And so I actually had to start from the bottom and work my way up. This has been, I'm telling you, this is a lot of work. These ones are not for the faint of heart. I almost felt like I was gonna quit this one for a bit there. I was really struggling that one day. But I persisted. I worked on it again the next day, figured out I didn't make a mistake. It's just very hard to keep track of where you're at. So, yeah. Okay. The next one is Sarah Walker. Let me get out the card. This is, Susanna Walker, 1848. It is my leap year start. It is by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started in 2024 and my plan is to finish it in February of 2028. It is 187 wide and 241 high, and I'm doing it on a 36 count country mocha linen. I'm doing all the DMC and 1 Cosmo floss. I am doing it on Pattern Keeper, but I also have a paper copy that I sort of gridded out just very quickly like that. My favorite part about this that I always say is when I get a part done, I rip that part of the paper chart off, and it's very rewarding to do that. So I do enjoy that part of this. And this is where I'm at. So I went all the way across the top part of the house. I finished this here, and brought the border down. So that's what I've been doing these each month. So I work on this and I get it done. And when I get the monthly section done, then I can move on to other things. So on the 1st, the 4th, and then this, those are my first pieces of cross stitch that I do at the start of every month. Okay. Now, the next one is a new spring project. I have had this project. I bought it actually straight from Lindy Stitches back in 2023. It is called Edna Goes to Brunch. And I fell in love with that bird, the little tufts. It's hard to see. There, you can kind of see the picture there, and that orange. And I'm like, I gotta do this. So I started it March 12th while we were in Vegas. It's on a 32 count mint splash, and it is 133 wide by 96 tall. And there's Weeks Dye Works and DMC that I use. So I bought the kit from her. So I have really been enjoying this. I just wanted to start a spring one. This is one I always wanted to do. And so I decided that I was going to start it and finish it this spring. So this is as far as I've got. So basically just have the bird and the orange to finish. So I'm very happy with this one. I really enjoyed it. I love bleeding hearts. They were a lot of fun. She was very generous in the fabric that she gave us, because this is the leftover piece. So I only cut out that part. So this is what was left over out of the kit. She was very generous with her fabric. So I was very happy to get that. And now I can do something else with this. So that was great. I had a lot of fun with that one. All right. Now, I have been doing the Joyful World series by the Snowflower Diaries. They were a monthly series that came out in 2016. And actually now the Snowflower Diaries lady is on Patreon, and she's actually, what's the word? She's like updating each of these monthly patterns, just updating them a little bit. I'm going to continue using the old patterns because that's what I have. But if you ever wanted to pick these up, that's where you would go, is find her on Patreon. And then she's starting in January, she's been putting out these patterns. They're for free. And she's just put out the updated one every month. So they're in one place where you can find them. So way easier way to find them. These have been quite slow going, because I'm not following. I am just choosing the best colors for what the called for are based on what I have in my stash. So sometimes I have a lot of like decision fatigue about which color I should use, or, you know, that kind of stuff. Do I have May? I actually started, I'm working on May. So I've done January through April, and I'm working on May. It's on Picture This Plus Ren 32 count. And I started it June 27th of 2025. Okay. And this is where I am. Now, I had a hard time being able to count the threads of this linen. And so I put it on a scroll frame, and that has helped quite a bit. I kind of picked a specialty stitch to do this part of it. That was just something I decided to do. And I think basically since the last time you guys saw this, I completed the whole frame. And I have started the vines and stuff beside. I won't stitch all the flowers. I've been adding buttons in just strategic places in here. And so there'll be some flowers I won't stitch, and I'll put a button there instead. But I'm really hoping to get Edna done and this one done, and I'll show the next one done. Like say by maybe even the end of June, or even into July. I have 4 pieces I believe that I'm doing, and I'm really hoping to get all 4 of those pieces done this summer, before the end of summer, before I go on to autumn stitching. Okay. My next one is, this is another series that I've been working on, and it's a Bent Creek series. Let me pull out. So I have done winter and autumn, and now I'm working on spring. And I started this in August of 2025. And again, this is another one where I don't have the complete threads. And so I get bogged down in the decision of what threads are gonna complement it the best. This is the original pattern. And actually on these, this is a very typical example, which a lot of floss tubers, a lot of people in cross stitch know, that you see the front cover, the picture, and yet when you pull the threads, they can look very different. Like colors in pictures versus what you see on different screens can look very different, just for new people. And this was a series I'm doing that has been very much like that. They look very different in person than they do in these pictures. So this is where I'm at. So there are 5 arches. So I've done one, and this is a bunny, and I'm working on that one. It is on 32 count, like a Murano, a plaid Murano. And I really enjoy working on this. So I just have the summer one to do. So, yeah, this is the 3rd piece that I want to have done here. This was also a bit slow going because of a game. I wanted to tell you about a game that I'm sort of doing. And I had to, this is on paper, so I was counting stitches. So that kind of slowed me down. But I have really enjoyed it. It's hard to see, but the little bunny's tail right there, I added some whisper to it for just a little bit of a 3D effect there. I like doing that to my cross stitch when I can. So I've enjoyed that. Now there's some Roxy floss in here. I've just, whatever I had in my stash, I have been kind of picking to make it look the best that I think it can. This had a bit of satin stitches in it. And so it kind of has a bit of texture to the pot, which makes it fun. Also, I like that. Okay, that's that one. Okay. The next is a series. It's called Sampler Seasons by Blueberry Ridge Designs. Again, the Canadian designer that I talked about, the Winter Wonderland. And I have done I've started the autumn, the winter, and now this is the spring. So this was a new start. I started it on March 20th, which was the spring equinox. And I also picked my own colors for it. So these are the colors that I chose. So a Cosmo 5026, which is a variegated. DMC 3836, 3835, and 3834. So those are the ones that I've picked. And it is on a 40 count, like a little slightly modeled linen that I got from the Grateful Thread through Embroidery Marketplace out of Calgary. It is my only 40 count project. And so I would like to get these 4 done before I kind of lose my eyesight. So I'm really trying to work on these as much as I can. So this is my start on this project. And I do have it in a hoop so that I can count the threads easier as I stitch. My eyes have adjusted to this project, but I also only work on this in the bright daylight. So I'm enjoying it. But again, because I'm not stitching it on all 4 of these. I'm not stitching it on the called for colors, using the called for colors. And so sometimes, again, it is a bit of decision fatigue and like, okay, what color should I do this motif or that to make it sort of all even, because I don't have that big picture to follow, right? So Sometimes would have been easier to just buy the floss and that she calls for and do it. Maybe. This was actually a pink, and I'm not really a pink person. I always seem to associate purple with spring, and so this just kind of felt more right. So that's what I'm doing. And this is the first time that I felt like, hey, it's okay to use solid colors. Not everything has to be variegated. And because in the autumn one, I did a pumpkin, and to me, it looks very clownish. Like, I really don't like how it turned out. With the way the variegation landed, it's a huge, it would be horrendous just to unpick, so I'm not doing that. But it just made me think that, you know what, sometimes solid colors are kind of nice. Not everything has to be, variegated. So that was great. Okay, let me look at my notes here. All right, the next one is a bit of a sad tale. So, quite a while back, I had bought a Avlia folk embroidery kit from Evertote. I like carnations, and so it's a band sampler, and I quite like band samplers. And so I bought this. Now, my birthday is in March, and I have been watching or have made a friendship with a young girl in the States. She has a Flosstube, and it's called MJ Stitches. And they were doing an Avlia pattern start in March because their birthday. She was doing it with Carolyn from Seazook Stitch. She actually, on all three, Avlia, Seazook Stitch, and MJ Stitches, they all have a video that they had like a Zoom meeting together and had a nice long chat. And so if you go to any one of those floss tubes, you'll find that video to watch. But my birthday's also in March. Their birthdays are in March. And so I thought I had never started it since 2023, and thought I would start it. So that was why I was prompting, just to kind of cash in on that. Now, the threads came not kind of like Mill Hills. They all just came like kind of just looped together. So I decided I was going to put it on this floss card, and I sorted all the flosses out, and then I had my own DMC, and I would look at this floss. I'm like, okay, this is this number, this number, this number. Somehow I did not do that right, and I mixed up this floss color and that floss color. And because I was in Las Vegas, I couldn't check. And it wasn't till I was stitching that I'm like, there is not going to be enough of this. Like, I was doing a border, and I'm like, no, I have done something wrong. I've done something wrong here. And sure enough, that's what it was. So because I checked with it when I got home. This is what I did so far, which is it's a ground cloth. It's a 26 count. Very fun to work on. But this whole border is in the wrong color. Now, I kind of looked at what I had in trying to decide what to do about things. And I don't have enough of any one thing to carry on. So some of these, I'm going to take out this border and restitch it in the proper one. And there's also something in here. I have to double check. I have to rip out 2 of these in here to restitch them. They're very easy to take out because I actually had to do it once already because I had done something, I'd counted wrong. And there's only one more to go. So I am going to take out the border, restitch it in the proper color. And these ones, I have old stock of those colors. And I'm going to use some of the old stock because I won't have enough of this one, but there is a slight shade difference. That's what I'm dealing with. So anyway, in the end, the color that's supposed to go there, in the rest of it, this color that I used, where it shows up in the rest of the pattern, might have to switch it for my old stock of that color because I don't have enough of it now because I've wasted it, right? Using the wrong color. So these ones I'm going to fix so they're all the same. And then after that, anytime that color, that symbol shows up, I'm going to use my old stock and it'll all be good. And this is a very easy little border. Like I'm just going to start somewhere over here and rip out part of it and then redo it and just go along. It won't take more than a session, but anyway, bit of a sad tale there. Totally and completely my fault. But easily fixed. Okay, I don't want to put it there. Okay. All right. Going to continue with a bit of a sad tale as well. I have mentioned MJ Stitches. And very sadly, she was expecting a baby. And that baby did not survive. I am a labor and delivery nurse, and I have been in those situations. And even though that has not happened to me, I have had to comfort and spend time with parents who have had the loss of a child, of a newborn. And this really hit home to me when this young family lost their baby. And so I have met this young girl because she had started a full coverage of a chart called Rivendell, and I had that chart. And so the Lord of the Rings has always been something I've enjoyed in my life. I started with reading The Hobbit when I was a young kid, and then went through, and I've read the Lord of the Rings many, many, many times. And so when she started that, I started it as well. And we've just developed a friendship over that. We would, sometimes on Sundays or every couple of times a month, we would send each other over Messenger a picture of our progress and just have a little chat. Mine is on 20 count Ada. It's an easy grid. It's 498 by 300. And so for a total of 149,400 stitches. And so when I heard about her loss of her little boy, I decided, I'm so sorry, but I decided that I just wanted to do something to dedicate something to this little one. He was born on February 24th, 2026, and his family, his mom and dad, got to spend a few hours with him before he passed away. And so I decided that for 24 weeks of his life, he was born at 24 weeks, that I wanted to know that he made a difference, even though I've never met these people in person or anything, but he made a difference in my life. Total stranger, but he did. And so what I've been doing is for 24 weeks, I want to stitch on this project every week for him. And so this is where I'm at. I've done week 8, and I just kind of, some stitches I get longer time and some are just, 100 or something like that. But this is for him. And now I'm going to show you the project. So this is the project. I'm just in a lot of sky. I did a partial page finish right here, and now I'm trying to do a bigger, do the first page finish right here. So that's this project, and I am enjoying it. This is a project I actually started, what is this? I actually started it, just a minute here. Yeah, I actually started it in the upper right-hand corner, and I realized I was doing it just using one thread, and then I realized there were blended threads. And so all I did was flip the fabric over and restart it in the opposite corner. And if I don't need to, I won't even, because I gave myself a pretty good margin. I might not even have to take that out. So. Alrighty. Okay. This next one I'm actually going to put on a board. So if you just give me a moment here. This is a stitch that comes from the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I had gotten one of these. It's called a linen table runner from like the late 80s, early 90s. I coffee tea dyed it myself. And I decided this was a series that, I'll tell you a bit more of the information. I'm just going to show you this now. And I have tried to iron it, but all the wrinkles don't completely come out. I'll have to do that at the end. But every year for Vegas, I have been doing a part of this. So I did this one year, this another year, the third year, and now I have that is the fourth year. Again, I'm choosing threads from my own stash. I had some Valdani threads that I had collected. And so I kind of brought a nice variety, so I had something to choose from. I put them on clothespin with the color number up there, and that's how I used them. So I had a nice variety, grabbed a bag. I took down several magazines because I wasn't sure, because again, I'm sort of piecing this all together. I'm trying to figure out how it's all going to go on there. Now, this is, it's from 2022, and there are several of them in throughout that year by Teresa's Primitive Treasures is what it is. And so I just kind of looked through the Punch Needle Primitive magazine and seen the actual copies. I do have a digital subscription, but the actual copies, I started out collecting the actual copies of the magazine, but it just was getting too expensive. Like I was paying, $20 some for the magazine and almost that much to have it shipped to me. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So, or like, $16 to have it shipped to me. So I said, no. So I've got the digital and I'm just kind of piecing it all together. So again, another bit of a, that decision fatigue in trying to figure out what to do. And again, I'm not sure how this is going to come together, but I did get that alphabet done at the top. So I'm pretty happy with that. So whatever I'm going to do for next year is Heather's problem in the future. So she can work on that starting next January, figuring it out so I can take it with us when we go again. Okay. the next one I did was a free pattern. It's a free pattern by Brooks Books. And it is called the Pantry Series. So she does have a website. If you go to the website, that's where you can get all of her free patterns. She used to be on Etsy, but you can't buy any. That store is closed. She passed away, and her husband's been unable to figure, or for their family to figure out how to be able to sell her patterns. So you go on the website, you can get anything that she's got there for free, which she has a lot of beautiful patterns. So I have done winter pantry. I started out doing these in autumn of last year. And so I got the autumn one done. And then I worked on here in winter. I did the winter pantry. And so now I will move the other way and do the other ones going this way. So I had kind of put this so I knew I'd have enough room to do the winter and then work on it this way. So I'm hoping to get the summer one done for summer and the spring one done next year. Like do summer and then I'll skip winter and autumn and winter and then do that. This is a piece of Ada cloth that I had been gifted when my grandma passed away. I took some of her cross-stitch supplies, and so it's just an off-white cream colored Ada, probably 14 count. Yeah. The only problem is that some of this white is not showing up. Like in these across here and here, it is not showing up very well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all 4 of them first. I don't know if I'm going to like coffee tea dye this and see if that makes a difference, or just backstitch. And the backstitching wouldn't be, I'm not worried about that if I decide to do that. But I think I'm going to wait till they're all done and then decide. I might just start, say with the winter one and backstitch this part here and see if it comes out. Because those are the only parts that are really hard to see, that bit of lace on the pantry shelf. So that's what I'm going to do. And I am following all the called for colors in this. So I started that March 16th and I finished it on March 23rd. And they're all 53 by 53 stitches. Okay. This is my last whip to show you. And it is the Panochka birds. I have been stitching, not stitching one a month, but there is a chart for every month. And a couple of the months she had 2, like I think October and December, there are 2 birds. So there's a total of 15 birds. And I've been making them into little needle books. Out of an Etsy shop out of Calgary. That's where I actually messaged her because she made these little, they're like a cork. They're made of cork. And so then I had her I gave her the list of the names of the birds and she made this little cork label. And so then, and then I would put it down here. And actually, her name is, I'm just going to cover up my address, but it's Spotted Zebra Engraving. And she was very lovely to work with and came out perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Okay, so that's that. I have done one, I don't want to lose that. I have done one previous and haven't made it into a project or to a needle book yet. And then this is as far as I got on this one. I actually ran out of 645. And so I've got a bit more to finish on that one. but then I will make those into some needle books. I'm hoping I will have some finishes and some fully finishes, and when I to come back with you, probably I would say at the end of July will be the next time I come back, and I'm hoping to have some nice things to show you with that. I just wanted to point out, like, I had a piece of fabric, obviously bigger than this because I've made some others, but what I did was I actually, gridded it by pulling a line, a thread line to make them so that they're all the same size. It's kind of hard to see, but all those there are actually a pulled thread, and that's how I know where I'm supposed to stitch them. So that's one way I have done that. And that is, they're all the called for colors, and this one is called Bullfinch, and that's the January. And do I have, yes, I'm sorry. It is a hand-dyed by Rolanda linen. It is a 32 count, and it was called Acorn. And it's got some really nice, very slightly yellow, pinky peach kind of modeling in it. It's very nice. Okay. It's great. That's all the stitching that I've been working on so far. Okay, I'm going to go on to Canada Swaps. So I participated in Canada Swaps 4, and a lot of fun by Karen, the Stitching Owl, that has organized it, and I'm very appreciative of her effort to organize this fun swap. You make a small, she's got some rules associated with it, and then you send it to someone. So you're not exchanging with one person. You make it for somebody, but somebody else sends something to you. So I really enjoyed doing that. So I want to share with you what I got. So it came from Karen Daniel, and she's the Twitchy Stitcher on YouTube. So you can check out her YouTube channel. She sent me this lovely card, and it is a homemade card that she's had made. And then this is who she had this on the back of the card. And funny enough, for Swap 3, I actually had her name and had sent something to her. So then in Swap 4, she got my name. I'll put that over there. So this is the beautiful cross stitch that she did for me. You were supposed to pick animal, vegetable, or mineral. And so I picked vegetable, a fruit. I actually like cross-stitched fruit. I don't know why. Pears, apples are my favorite. And so this is what she did for me. It's a Pigeon Coop Designs. And partridge and pear. She did a lovely job of finishing it. It's beautiful. So thank you. Was very pleased to get this. So now I'll be able to hang it up on a little hook in my room here, but I'll put it right there for now. I also got a little package with, this is a needle threader. This is a seam ripper for frogging. And then these are, I think, what they call those mascara brushes, where you can, after you frogged, if you got a lot of little bits of fluff there the color still, you can use that to get it out. So those are perfectly handy. She gave me Weeks Dye Works Ladybug, which is a variegated red, which is awesome. Who doesn't want every variegated red floss in the world? Me, I do. She also gave me a skein of Whisper. And I have one skein, but it actually is just about done. So this was great to get. I love using this if there's some kind of fluff stuff. I have an old Christmas pattern that I would like to do. And this would entail like the dress with like kind of like a white muff on it that that I want to use this in. So if and when I ever start that, I will explain. I could take the time to explain a bit more how I actually use that. She gave me a bunch of stickers, which are super cute. And then, oh, it's never done. She was very generous. She gave me a couple of bookmarks. So I'm going to have to look for some patterns, a couple of charts to do on there. And they're nicely finished. They're great. She gave me a few more stickers. And that was really good. And then I got 2 of these flosses. So they're quite a thicker a bigger skein. I don't know that it tells me how much is on here, but there's quite a lot. And this nice brown variegated. So really nice colors. And I do like peach. I like peach more than pink. So those are definitely up my alley. So thank you, Karen, very much for that. That was very lovely. Such a wonderful event to take part in, and I really enjoyed it. Now, what I wanted to show you was I had come across this. I dream about doing more slow stitching than I actually do, but it is something that's on my retirement list to do more of. And there's a lady that I follow, Ann Wood Handmade, and she has a website. And she does like things like 100 days of slow stitching. So 100-day page. And then she teaches you how to turn it into a book. So you can go to her website and she gives you the pattern for free. Now, you really have to follow her directions carefully in order to put the book together properly. Because it is not intuitive how it's done. You think pages going to end up where they end up, and it totally is not that way. I was struggling a bit with it because, of course, my book is only going to have a couple pages. So I actually started out by just doing it on paper to figure out where are all these pages going to land. So I sort of did that to figure out. So I kind of just practiced on a piece of paper. And then I was actually able to make a little book. So this is the front of the book. And then I just made some pages, or I kind of decorated a few of the pages. And now I'm going to take it apart and show you, because they actually, how can I show you so this comes apart? So one folds into the other, okay? So you have a book that's got together like a tab, and then you have a page that has a hole that you stick this through, and that's how it comes. That's why it's not as intuitive. And when I was doing it, because I'm left-handed, there's also a difference, like, how do I want to put? So between sticking it in from this way or sticking it in from left to right or right to left will also change how the pages land. So you do have to be cognizant of that. That's why I kind of made a copy, and you really have to be methodical. My whole point is I was trying to figure out some of my series on how I could finish things. And I have the Jeanette Douglas bouquets, the 12 bouquets, one for every month. And at first I was going to put them into needle books, and I'm like, I've already got lots of needle books. I really kind of don't need any more of that, because oftentimes if I make a project bag out of the fabric, I'll make a little needle book that stays with that project bag. Or if, like, for example, in Swaps 3, I was given a beautiful project bag. And so this is kind of a wintry one. And obviously I don't have that fabric. So I thought I'll just put this in there. So that's what I'm kind of using these ones for. But I thought I wanted a different way of displaying stuff. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a book that ends up, because you end up with 4 pages. So even though there's 12 months, I would end up with 16 pages, counting the front and the back, right? Because you get, when you make any one of these pages, right, you end up with actually 4 pages, right? And so, do something on the front and the back and maybe leaving, the end piece blank or whatever. But I would make the book with all the same fabric so I don't really have to worry. And then I would hand stitch on each bouquet separately. So, this one would be January and make enough, and the next would be February, March, and then kind of do it like that. So that was and it's just another way to display it without 1,000 pillows. And that way, I could set it out and somebody would be like, oh, what's that? And I'd be like, oh, look at my book, my little fabric book. So that was the intent. And I had made one for Karen, the Stitching Owl. She was the person I had, and I put one on the cover. And then I thought she could either make it into a needle book or she could add more little smalls, just as another way to display smalls. So that's where that came from. Okay. Kelly's Quilts Plus here on YouTube. She does a monthly Flosstube, but her main content on her channel is quilting, but she does do a monthly Flosstube. And in January, or like she had set it up to start in January, she wanted to do an acrostic of the idea of where I live. And so I have been following that. And I have done well every Monday. So the first Monday in January, I started. And every Monday is designated a letter. For example, I live in Taber. So TABER, every Monday was one of those letters. Okay, so I've been following that along. And that letter, like T, you associate it with one of your cross stitch projects. So, like for example, TA, there was an acorn in that winter wonderland. And so that's what I counted. So every week was a project associated with one of those letters. So far in the year, I have done the word Tabor and the word Lethbridge. And then today is Wednesday. So this past Monday, April 20th, let me get this correct. April 20th was C. So I have lived in Calgary, Alberta. And so I'm now starting the word Calgary. So for C, I am doing one of my full coverage pieces. And I'm not going to go over all these letters, but it's been fun to be creative about, okay, I have to come up with a project that has something to do with the letter C. And some I have been kind of creative to get them to match up, because I'm trying to actually match up the letters to what I'm actually already doing. I'm not changing my plans to fit that. I'm making the acrostic fit my plans. So, but overall, it's been actually fairly easy to do. So that's what that's been about. So that's fun. So now moving on to Calgary. And all of these are going to be words that of places of where I've lived. Now, somewhat of the last thing that I want to talk about is Jessie Marie Does Stuff came up with a game called Milestone Manor. And it has to do with, you find some type of house plan. It can be your own house. It can be home drawn. Like, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I just went online, found a free picture of a really cool floor plan of a gigantic house that would be a dream to live in. And that's what I'm working on. So you have projects for this number of houses, number of rooms in that house. Like, for example, I started on the front porch, and then I went into the foyer. Front porch, went into the foyer, and now I'm in the study. And I'm just going to work my way around, all the way around this house. Okay, that's how you do it. All my projects are in an envelope on a card. And so my husband put these in, so I don't know what projects are in these envelopes. I only know once I open them up. So I started in the front porch, and I was working on my full coverage bedtime story, which is a Chris Dunn artwork and from Pain Free Crafts. There's a series, you roll the dice. It's based on video games, hit points, experience points, and so on. She's got excellent videos on how to do it. My point is, there's no hurry to go through this. I'm going through it at my own pace, and it's just whenever I can get things done. So I worked on that bedtime story, and I had to do so many stitches on it. And when I was done, then I had to, do some ideas. Did I lose a health point? Did the project lose a health point? Did I make a milestone that I would gain an experience point, etc.? So I did that. The spring arches was the foyer, and that's what took me the longest because I was counting stitches manually. Next time I do that, I'm not sure if when I roll the dice, for example, this one, I had to do 1,300 stitches. Whether I would actually turn that into minutes or actual stitches, and then just kind of say, okay, I'm starting, just look at the clock. Yeah, okay, start the project. Oh, now I have to, it's the end of the night. Okay, how many minutes did I stitch on it? Or actually go back to counting stitches. I haven't decided, but I'm in no hurry. For me, it's very slow going. I have literally made it into my third room. I've been on the front porch, went into the foyer, and now I've entered the study. The study, when I opened it up, it is the project Magic City with Books. It is a HAID, and it's actually, I'm imagining it's an AI, because it says it's artwork by Michelle Satea. So I'm assuming it's an AI thing, but it's about books that they're like their apartment buildings. It's super cute. And it's also in Pattern Keeper, and so it's super easy. I have 1,600 stitches. And then she gives a whole list of ideas of milestones that you might reach that would help you gain experience points, level up, all this kind of stuff. So it's been a bit challenging because I am not a gamer, but she has excellent explanations of things. And so I'm just really enjoying it. Just is make me pull it out. So for example, Magic City with Books, I stitched on it. I started it in 22, 23, but then I didn't stitch on it in 24 or 25. So it was great. I just this month here, I just started it, and a week ago, so I worked on it, and I got like 500 and some stitches in it. And so that's the first stitches I put in on it in 2 years. And I'm super happy to get back to that one. So I want to do a whole video on my full coverage, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I'm at 29,000, which is, actually, I would have written it down here. Okay, so I put in, 479 stitches. So that makes a total in all the time I've stitched on it of 29,145 stitches out of 377,850, which means I'm at 7.71%. Rivendell, incidentally, because it's just right here, I'm at 2.93% on that project. So it was really great to get back. And every time I do my full coverage, I'm like, I could just do this monogamously. I just love stitching on it. I want to do a video about them. Each one is a little bit, my setup is a bit different, just because, and but I really enjoy working on that. So I would like to do more of that. But that's how this situation, so I've been having fun working on that, even though I'm super slow. She's gone through probably her rooms, she's probably gone through 20 rooms, if not more, in the time since January. And I've been like, I'm on my third room. So, but that's what I like about it, is it's a game that has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just myself, and I'm super enjoying it. We're at 112 minutes, an hour and 12 minutes. I think I'm going to stop there. Other than in February, my sister hosted a craft weekend, and she had 3 crafts. I went to it with some friends. It was out at the Cypress Hills Resort on the Saskatchewan side of the Cypress Hills Provincial Park. I have shown some video footage there because that's where I go for a quilt retreat. But, and so there, 2 of them were wooden crafts, and the other one was a cross-stitch craft. And so I just thought I would show you what we were able to do that weekend and finish off. So lots of fun. This is a Pinker and Pumpkin quilt blog spot. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember her name. But these are all free patterns on her blog. Melissa. And so this is where it came from. And she has a lot of sometimes I think there are so many free patterns out there, or so many different designers that have free patterns. Sometimes I think I want to start writing a list. Like, I literally could probably for a whole year stitch as many of her patterns. I could like dedicate a whole year and think, how many of these patterns could I get done a year? And there are all kinds of designers where you could actually do that. You could dedicate a whole year to something and do a lot of their patterns that they've offered for free. So that was really nice. The last thing on my list was kind of a floss organization for a full coverage that I was thinking about doing. I think this video is long enough. I'm going to leave that for another time because I'd actually like to go through my, make a separate video about my floss organization. Not that it's anything completely new. I mean, there's kind of nothing, new under the sun, but it's something, what did I choose to do? So that'd be something I'd like to talk about at some point when I do that. Thank you all if you've made it to the end and listened to my ramblings and let me express my passion of cross stitch and all the aspects of my projects, why I've picked them, why I'm doing them, what parts about them that I like. And I appreciate that. I have a different sort of system holding you up, and I feel like a lot of shaking's been going on, so I apologize for that. I have done it a little bit differently than what I normally are holding my iPad with. So I apologize for that if that's been going on this entire hour of cross stitch. I want you guys to take care. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your stitching. Enjoy what you're working on. I love watching other Flosstubes. I spend a lot of time watching YouTube and watching Flosstubes. I don't always comment, but I usually try to heart, a thumbs up and a hype when I can. And so I appreciate this community and the friendships that either are online or in person. And I enjoy the Canadian content that I get to see a lot as well. And I appreciate all the people that take the effort to upload videos, take the time to film them and upload, because it isn't easy to carve out time, and all of our lives are full. And so I do appreciate all the people that post content, because I do enjoy watching it. So until next time, see you, love you, bye.